What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPaPa, and today we are looking at the list that TCG Player has sent us and said, hey, all of you need to pay attention because these are the biggest movers and shakers on our website for the last week. And this list is so much fun. I mean, I get fired up every single week to bring this information to you because this list, it's just so diverse. You never know what's going to be on here. There are some cards driven by playability. There's always some big name Pokemon on here. There's all kinds of different sets from different eras, and I'm going to tell you right now, this week doesn't disappoint. There's just a lot of really cool cards on here, and I think it's really awesome that TCG Player shares this information with us. If they didn't share this information with us, I promise you there are cards on this list that would absolutely never be on my radar, and that's really where I think the true value lies in this. And as we do this week in and week out, every single Sunday, we start to notice patterns and trends, and it just really helps us kind of level up our collecting and investing game. So really, really cool, really awesome output from all the work that we put in this. Speaking of all the work that we put in this, if you've been watching this every Sunday and you've been thinking about hitting that subscribe button, why don't you go ahead and do it? We do a ton of work here on this channel, and that helps us out a lot if you do. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. And if you have questions or comments, drop them down below. So all right, with that nonsense out of the way, let's look at the cards that TCG Player has said are moving and shaking the most on their website over the last week. So the very first card, now if you saw my video on Friday, I talked about the 10 cards that have gained the most value on TCG Player over the last 30 days. Now that information was about a week old, okay? So we saw that the Jolteon card from that premium collection box, there's two ones that came in every one, right? There was a Flareon box, a Jolteon box, and a Vaporeon box, and that was back in the Sword and Shield era, and everybody knew those boxes were really special. They had these alt art promos in there, they were unique to the boxes, and they were really, really awesome. Well, on the cards that had gained the most value, the other Jolteon card was on that list on Friday, and today on the movers and shakers list, just like the sister card, this card has absolutely popped off in value. Now, as we always say when we look through this video series, look at the light blue line, and that will show you that about 2 weeks ago, somebody bought a ton of them, probably a buyout, right? 30 of them were sold, and you see that's where we saw this big spike in price. Now, we will see if it's able to hold its value over time, but no matter what, I think these cards are going to have a very special place. Again, back when these boxes were available, everybody, myself included, was in love with them. I have multiple sets of these boxes because I just had this feeling that they were going to be awesome in the long run. The pack selection in there is great. The artwork on these promos is awesome. The gem rate on these are incredibly low. If you remember, trying to get these things out of those plastic boxes without dinging the corners was absolutely a nightmare. So I think there's a lot of opportunity in these cards in the long run, even if this is just a short-term spike because of a buyout and the price comes back down. If you have a long-term time horizon, I think these cards are going to do really well no matter what. So I was pumped to see this card on the movers and shakers list. Again, not long after we saw the sister card on the cards that had gained the most value over the last month on TCG Player. So really cool to see those two things kind of coordinate and go along with each other. Now the very next card on the list right here, we're going to be looking at the Dusknoir. Okay, now this might not be the biggest named Pokemon in the world, and certainly Shrouded Fables is not the best set in the world, at least in terms of long-term collecting and investability from what I can see. It is a set that is driven by playability, and I do think there's some awesome art, and obviously this card has some awesome art to it as well, and there's enough going on with this card that it's up 71% over the last month. Now the question with all of these Shrouded Fable cards is, are they going to be able to retain that value far into the future? Like when Shrouded Fables eventually rotates out of the metagame and nobody can use the cards anymore, right? Like, are these cards going to still be as valuable as they are today? I don't know enough about it. I do love this artwork. I don't love this artwork enough to go out and spend $27 for it. I don't love this artwork enough to think, hey, I need to have 15 copies of these in the Poké Closet because 10 years from now, this is going to be a $100 card. But at least for now, it's one of the big movers and shakers on TCG Player. And of course, we always got to talk about it because I love the diversity. So really cool to see this card on the list, even if it doesn't have great longevity in terms of pricing. At least for now, again, up 71% over the last month is absolutely insane. Next card. Every week it feels like we have a 151 card on here every single week, and that's not a bad thing. The 151 set is absolutely a set for the ages. It is incredibly special, and the big chase card is obviously the Sun Charizard, but it's nice to see the Charizard EX get a little bit of love. This is absolutely overshadowed from a price perspective by the big chase card, as it should be, but it's nice to see this card pop up on this list, and you can see, again, if you look at the light blue line, like there's been very, very strong demand for this card. I mean, it's been selling selling in the 20 range every single week for, I don't know, like the last 3 months, right? As you can see there. Now the price has been working its way up and down and up and down, and we've seen that with 151. It kind of has a set ceiling and a set floor, and the price will bounce up and down. But what's interesting to me is you see it keeps testing these new all-time highs. And if you look around 8, 9, tested a new all-time high, and then it came back down, settled for a little bit. Then it tried to work its way back up, then it came its way back down. So as I said in a previous video, whatever the 151 restock was, whatever was pushed into the market didn't care. The demand was so high, it absorbed it, and we're still seeing really huge demand and really huge prices for all of these 151 cards. 151 is a very special set. Obviously, Charizard's a very special Pokemon. So I was excited to see this card on here, and I do think that even at $36 right now, I would be willing to bet that this card has still plenty of upside to it far into the future. The next one right here, Pidgey. Love me some Pidgey. Again, the diversity is what's so incredibly exciting. And fly, Pidgey, fly. Look at this card. It is up 92% over the last 3 months. And it may not be the best artwork in the world. You may love it. I'm sure plenty of people hate it. But guess what? It doesn't matter because it has almost doubled in price over the last 3 months. Now, again, when you think about where it jumped off from, it's only at $8.15 right now. So it was jumping off right around $4 and change. So again, dollar-wise, not a huge gain. Again, is this going to be a $30 to $40 card further in the future? I don't think so. But at least for now, seeing Pidgey get some love, seeing Obsidian Flames get some love, right? We know that when we get outside of the top 5 cards in Obsidian Flames, the average price per card drops significantly. So I thought this was really cool. We know Obsidian Flames had all kinds of print quality issues. So finding a minty copy of this that's well-centered without print lines, you know, is going to be few and far between. I think the overall gem rate for the whole set is in the 20% range, which is just abysmal. When you think about sets like Twilight Masquerade that are out right now, where the overall set gem rate is in the 60-65 range. So Obsidian Flames might, from a sealed perspective, it's got, you know, Charizards in it, so maybe because it's got Charizards in it and because the gem rate is so incredibly low, it might hold some value in the long run. But again, super excited to see Pidgey on here. Really interested to see that it's up almost 100% over the last 3 months. And again, fly Pidgey fly, why not? Excited to have this card on the list. The final one right here is another card which honestly completely flew under my radar, but look at how stunning this card is. Look at how beautiful that is, okay? Deerling right here from Temporal Forces. It's up almost 57% over the last 3 months. Another card just like the Pidgey, right? Didn't have a really high jumping off point. It's only at $7.50 now. This isn't a card you're gonna buy and put aside and it's gonna pay for your future retirement home or put your kids through college or anything like that, but it's a card that the market is certainly excited about. Again, when you look at the light blue lines down there, you'll see that there was a significant bump a couple weeks ago. About 55 of these cards were purchased over the course of that week. Could have been a small buyout. Price has gone up, so it's going to be interesting to see if it can retain that value. But again, when you're talking about $7.50 for a stunning piece of artwork like this that is absolutely adorable, guaranteed I'm going to buy one of these for each of my kids because they will think that it's just the coolest thing since sliced bread, and I like being a cool dad. And that's what I love about Pokemon, right? Not everything has to be a $20, $30, $50, $100 card. You can get some awesome artwork, things that'll give kids a ton of joy for here at $7.50, and that's even after a 57% jump over the last week. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with some of these special illustration rares and illustration rare cards that don't have a lot of value now, and to see what happens, you know, I don't know, a year from now, 2 years from now, after Scarlet and Violet is gone. But hey, awesome card right here, super cute, amazing artwork, again, up 57% over the last 3 months. Huge spike here over the last week. Is Deerling going to be able to hold on? We'll have to wait and see, but that is the end of the list for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. That's what this video is all about. If you made it to the end and you want to see more, we do this every Sunday. Hit that subscribe button. If you have questions or comments, drop them down below. And as always, if you like what you see, give us a big old thumbs up. I appreciate you more than I can say. I hope you have an epic one, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.